Hello branch managers, it's Todd Screaming here. Thanks for tuning in. This is an overview video of the processes that we look at in Summit Funding and what the top 3 things I want you to get out of this chapter. So when you talk about process, the first thing I'll tell you is the devil's in the details. Me included, almost all of us that would ever watch this video, you started out as a salesperson, you're 100% commission, we're kind of like realtors, okay? And then we slowly try and go from that technician stage to being a business person, and that's what all of this is about. The problem with that is that we don't like process, and we don't like details. And that's just something that we struggle with. And that's why, you see, you hire an ops manager for a branch and they're really good at process and details, and all of a sudden the branch starts killing it. That's why all that stuff happens. So there's 3 things I want you to get out of this chapter on process. When you're going through this, what I want you to really focus in on is 3 things. Number 1 is how important the LO submitting the file, that whole process, when the loan, how they take a loan application, how they have the borrower bring in stuff. Do they know the scripts to get the borrower to bring in the proper stuff? Do they turn in the file within 2 days, or does it sit on their desk for 8 days? That whole LO, how they take a loan app and how they turn it into processing, super important branch process, and something that all branch managers, 90% of them, underestimate. So important. You couldn't train on this enough. Number 2 is the processing that happens with the loan manager. So when you look at that, yes, loan managers, most of you have very good loan managers. What branch managers struggle with is holding them accountable to metrics. We want to manage by feelings because that's mostly who we are. We're big, gushy people of emotions, right? And salespeople are that way. But the truth is that if you develop a process in your branch where, hey, every single day we're going to talk about any loan not submitted within 10 days of disclosure, and you have the email goes out to the whole company on what files aren't submitted within 10 days, and you just hammer people on it and you demand that happens, pretty soon all the emotions go away because there's not any late closings. There's hardly any rushes. You'll close 40 files in a month and maybe 1 rush, okay? That is something, if I could spoon feed one thing to most branch managers, that would be the thing, is that they just how to manage processing by using metrics. So that's a big thing I want you to get out of this. The third thing is sales management. Big, huge issues around sales management. So listen, in Summit, if we want everyone to be coached, okay? And we want everyone using Greatness Tracker. We want everyone using Lead Tracker. We want everyone turning in the personal budget. We want all those things. And you say, well, Todd, why is that such a big thing? Well, if we really want to change people's lives, having a coaching meeting, by the way, you have to meet with your people anyway, but having a coaching meeting with them and helping them with their business is changing their lives. Sitting back and hoping that they figure it out on their own is not changing lives. And the Core has developed this great process for sales management. We've developed best practices for how to run a branch, and it's very process driven. We just have to swallow that pill and say, okay, we're all going to do this. I can't tell you how many stories I got with Summit Coaching where people say, yeah, this low producer, I was going to cut him, I was going to fire him. He was closing 2 loans a month. All of a sudden, he averaged 7 loans this year. Hundreds of stories like that. So it's about changing lives. But you got to give them a process. If they knew the process, they wouldn't need you. Okay? And so that's what a branch manager brings to the table is, and you don't have to do all the coaching. Summit Coaching will do it, the Core will do it, but there's a process to all this stuff that you have to understand, and you have to be very demanding that they buy into this. And when they do, it really does change their life. So 3 things about this chapter that I want you to pay special attention on. 1 is how a LO takes in a file and gets it to processing. 2 is how the processors, all the metrics and timelines that the processing team needs you to oversee. And number 3 is the sales management. Really knowing, I don't care if they're a 10 unit a month producer or a 30 unit a month producer, how to lead them through the whole sales management process. When to have meetings, when you do celebrations, just all of these things that are encapsulated into this chapter. So guys, that's a little bit of overview. Enjoy the chapter. It's great, and it literally will change your life because you'll go from being a frustrated branch manager to a top producing branch manager with very few issues. Thanks, guys.